Welcome back to the Texas music scene. Now let's lean into something a little fun and a lot of country from Darby Sparkman. She's a Texas native with a hell of a voice and a gift for pulling you into the story. Here's Drink with Jones, recorded live and acoustic at Assembly Hall.
This is called Drink with Jones. I wrote it when I believe I was 15 or 16. It was the very first song that I had ever written where I showed it to my parents and my mom said, "Who wrote that?" And I was like, "I did." And she said, "That's a pretty good song." And I thought, well, I got something, and I've been playing it ever since. It was my very first radio single that I released in Texas when I was 17 or 18 possibly. I recorded it in Acuff, Texas, in the middle of a cotton field with a guy named Alan Crossland. And I'm excited to play it tonight, and I'm hoping that one day in the studio we'll re-record it and re-release it to radio, because 17-year-olds don't know what they're doing. So I'd like to give this song another shot, and I'm glad to be playing it today for everyone to hear it. So
I started writing songs when I was pretty young, and this was one of the very first times that I had written a song that people started coming up to me and being like, "Who wrote that?" And I was like, "Oh, it was me." And I'm really glad to share it with y'all. It's called Drink with Jones. It was on my first record, and it was the first radio single that I released in Texas when I was just a young pup. And I'm glad to be here. I'm glad y'all are here, and here's Drink with Jones. They say it takes a lot to be a good man. You gotta know when to run and know when to stand. You gotta pick your battles and win your race. Be sure to get up when you fall on your face. You gotta walk with Jesus and drink with Jones. You gotta smoke with Willie and roll with the Stones. You gotta love like a hippie until you're haggard and worn. You've gotta walk with Jesus and drink with Jones. I've been in this life longer than I should. I've fallen from grace more times than I've stood at the feet of Jesus, begging for a sin. Sometimes you gotta mess up to know that he's still in. You gotta walk with Jesus and drink with Jones. You gotta smoke with Willie and roll with the Stones. You gotta love like a hippie until you're haggard and worn. You've gotta walk with Jesus and drink with Jones. Y'all give it up for the boys in the band. They're working overtime tonight. The line gets hazy between right and wrong. It's hard to tell which side I'm on. So before I go, please let me say, it's taken some living to get me this way. I've had to walk with Jesus and drink with Jones. I've had to smoke with Willie and roll with the Stones. with Jesus, and when to drink with old George Jones. Thank y'all so much.